Destination Newry. I'm Rowan Hand. I have the privilege of being your host through until 10:30 Irish time this morning, and that's 2 hours from now. Now, with me in studio, Steve Eccles of Eccles Physiotherapy in Newry.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you. You've been away a little while, and people were phoning and saying, "Where is Steve? We want him back." And I said, "Look, for goodness sake, he'll be back." And it's good to have you here because we have ongoing issues with the skeleton and physiotherapy and the musculature associated with the skeletal form. Doing our best to be healthy.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
So where are you taking me today?
Well, I was just going to talk about just watching a bit of football and seeing people getting injured occasionally.
Yes. Football is a very, very dangerous profession.
Especially for physiotherapists.
What?
Oh, yes, indeed. The England physiotherapist, after the goal, I think the only goal they've scored so far.
Wow.
The team all got excited and jumped upon each other. They all hugged and leapt, but and then when it cleared, there was somebody injured, lying on the ground, and he was getting his leg stabilized, and it was the physiotherapist. He'd dislocated his ankle, so let's hope he gets better soon.
Did he stabilize his own leg? Physician,
No,
heal thyself.
He wasn't in any shape to do that.
Never mind, physician, heal thyself. Rooney, go score a goal. That's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Indeed.
It's. I think I want to talk to you, if I may, because I was your patient, and you did very wonderful things for me. People now comment that I walk better, that I hold myself better, and I'm no longer slouching around, and I have gained 2 inches in height.
Excellent.
I'm just stronger. I feel better.
Yeah.
But every so often, I find that the old problem comes back, and it's just halfway down the back to the left and to the right of the spinal column. You may identify with some of the things I'm saying here. So that residual constancy of low-level pain. It doesn't go so that you go, it's none of that sort of stuff. But it's constantly there, you're aware of it, and you just would be careful of yourself.
Yes, and what would you be doing when that gets painful?
One of the things I'd be doing, I'd waken up in the morning.
Okay.
I'd waken in the morning, and I would find that I'd be walking with some difficulty coming out of the bed, and it would take me like a period of time to actually grow into my full skeletal health, so to speak, and then it would diminish somewhat. It would almost be, when it comes, it would almost be there constantly, with nothing in particular bringing it on. Right. Why would that be?
Well, I imagine, even though you're a fabulously young man.
Did you hear that?
Thank you. Thank you.
I really appreciate that.
I think it was your 40th birthday recently, wasn't it?
My 40th. Well, 70 is the new 40.
Okay, absolutely.
I tell you,
absolutely.
You got to believe it, I tell you.
You do. Good. Okay, so
yeah,
possibly there's undoubtedly there's wear and tear at the base of your spine, and that would tend to cause you to get stiff in the low back, and then when you're lying at night, the joint is lying maybe at the end of its range of motion.
Wow.
So and it becomes painful and irritable. We call that stiffness and pain after being still for a while gelling. In the joint, and so you're showing evidence of that. So I think what we need to do is re-establish some of those movement exercises to get you.
I have to admit one thing to you.
Yeah, that you're not doing them. Okay, and that's.
I find exercise boring.
Yeah, well, no,
that's my problem.
I get you there, but if you can slot these in to your daily life just a little bit in there, you don't have to get into your lycra, your fluorescent lycra outfit to do them.
I'm falling in love with the notion of it. But what I do find, now one of them in particular, one of the exercises, what I do find is when I'm lying flat in bed and I arch my back up.
Yes.
And I hold it 3, 4, 5, and then come down.
Yeah.
That has an effect, a good effect, and that is helpful. But I would never, I have the world's best mattress, but I have a mattress that is very, very good. And on that mattress, I would never lie and sleep direct just on my back like that.
Yeah.
I would move. If a camera was filming me during my sleep pattern, it would see a highly mobile individual. Honestly, I go from fetal position under the duvet, fetal position over the duvet. I go from one leg over the duvet to two legs under the duvet. It's a constancy of movement in my sleep.
Right.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
But I sleep.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's movement. And I'm maybe, if there's the right thing on the World Service, I'm in a jungle fighting somewhere or whatever. And, and then I waken up in the morning and I do this. So, you know, it's
yes. So I think we should get we'll get you back to your exercise program.
I think so.
You can come down and
I think I shall.
Give me a shout.
We'll do that.
And I think this just needs a little bit topping up.
Yeah.
That sort of exercise.
Yeah. Topping up is right. I no longer get pains in my back when I'm bending down because I am the old silverback.
Absolutely. Good.
And the silverback, it simply means that when you're down like so, you're keeping you straight.
Turn sideways to the camera.
To the camera, right? So I'm going down to pick something up. Are you ready, guys? You're seeing me there, are you? Yeah. So I'm here. Knees bend. You tell the people.
Yeah.
Tell me what to do.
He's got his knees bent and his back flat.
Back's flat. Okay.
And come on back up again.
Coming up, put my hands on my thighs. Unless I do it myself, unless I can get a woman to do it for me. And then I push like so. And the old silverback is
absolutely,
happy.
Absolutely. And you know, it may feel weird doing it when you start to do that. But if you look at sportsmen, that's how sports people bend over. You don't see tennis players bent over with a hunched back. They have flat backs. They can move better. It's safer, and it looks good too.
The other thing that maybe is useful to comment on and talk about, and so many people out there will know what I'm talking about here.
Right.
When I come in here in the morning, I go up the stairs, I sit down, all on my own, I'm onto the computer, and I'm there, and I'm doing the news. I'm pulling the news together from all the different sources, rewriting it and putting it into the system. And I'm doing that for an hour, 45 minutes to an hour.
Right.
And then I go to get up. Oh, sweet mother of goodness.
Yeah.
It's not good at that point.
And
good at that point.
And again, you're sitting at the end of your range of motion. You're sitting in that C shape.
Yes.
And what would be better during it, again, doing those... Remember we had those teenager in the kernel exercises?
Yes.
Where you roll your pelvis back and forward.
Oh, yeah.
So you go from sitting up really straight to slumping and up and down. So back and forward, loosening those
I can actually feel that doing me good.
Yes. And if you were to do maybe 10 of those every hour, then that would start to loosen things up. So every now and again when there's a piece of music on,
just do the little bit of
rocking back and forward to loosen that up.
My colleague in the BBC once, Maggie Taggart, bless her. Hello, Maggie, if you're viewing this morning. Greetings to you. She's a lovely lady. Maggie's a nice woman. But she, now I'm now 4 years out of the BBC. I think, it was Maggie. She bought and brought in a special seat, which was like something that went like that. And it was just raw wood. It looked like something out of Habitat or IKEA, and she sat on it like this, and it seemed to do her good. Are such things useful?
Yes, I think they are. I think you can sit badly in anything, but a good chair or a good stool will help. Just give you some cues. So sometimes there's seats that are forward tipped, so you have to arch your back slightly. I've seen saddle chairs. They're like, it's like a stool, but with a little horse saddle.
Oh yeah.
Not real horse saddle.
No.
But you can see how people on horseback
have
lovely straight backs. One of those kneeling chairs.
A kneeling chair.
You know the ones where there's a slope here for your bum. And then
I think that's what Maggie had. I do believe it.
A piece here that you sort of half kneel on.
Yes, I think that's exactly it.
I think they're fine, but you get fed up with them after
You would. It's the art of the possible, doing that which you're going to hold on to and keep, you know. The nation's health at the moment, or what are they coming to you with down on the Warren Point Road?
Well, I was going to talk about just mild injuries. I had a spate of calf injuries there with people in their middle years who now the good weather's here.
Oh, your microphone's gone. Well spotted. It pulled out.
Oh.
That's we were being so. You got it there. Bring it back up. Well spotted there, young man. He got us our. Yeah, look at that. Well done. That just clips in.
Oh,
you got it.
Words of wisdom that had been lost.
No, not all of them. Just keep that loose.
Yes.
Now tell us about the calf injuries to the.
So people would see the lovely weather and get out and maybe walk further than they normally do, or chase the kids around the garden with a hose pipe or something, and this muscle tissue in your calf, it's not used to such exercise after the winter. And then a small tear can occur. Oh. Very painful initially. What to do about that immediately? And I think we have the acronym RICE, which is rest. So rest means if it hurts, don't do it. So for example, if you, God forbid, injured your calf, you would rest it. You would decide not to go on that walk this afternoon, or go climbing in the mornings. Ice. Now, well, I'll come back to ice. Compression. So if you have maybe a bandage to wrap around it, and that's to stop. That's if there's any bleeding in the tissue. Because that's what bruising is, bleeding into the tissue. That this compression will reduce the bleeding. So you cause slight damage with the tear, but bleeding into the tissue can cause more damage. So that compression is good, and then elevation, lying with your foot up to reduce the swelling.
Oh yes.
To go back to ice. In the first 2 days, ice only. Okay. After that, people know about ice and heat. But initially, heat will cause more bleeding in the tissue. So really, initially, you just want ice.
I need to ask. Yeah,
and then
please.
So what you do is you get your frozen peas out of the out of the fridge, and you get a damp tea towel, run it under the sink, rinse it out, lie it down, and then put the affected bit on top of it. Lie it there for 20 minutes, and then throw the peas back into the freezer, and don't do it again for at least 3 hours. So that way, some people will either just put the peas straight on, and that can cause ice burns, which are very uncomfortable.
No.
And even worse, if people use ice and heat initially, well, A, that's wrong, and B, you can get a nasty burn from it. So really, don't put fully boiling water in there, and have a nice little a little towel or something over it. So we don't want to burn the thing.
No.
Because
you brought a thought to my mind, and I've been concentrating on my lower body and my mid-spine. But you know of my rotator cuff rupture.
Yes.
So I now live with it.
Right.
And this arm is not the arm that the right arm is.
Right.
This arm is not good.
Yes.
And there is a constancy of pain there in the arm. And this happens when you get to 70. You're active, but activity brings you pain, and you live with it, and you do it.
Yeah.
Now here, within the last fortnight, I fell into a wall. I hit a wall with this arm. I reached out like that.
Yes.
To stop to give myself balance.
Yes.
And in the reaching out, I got the most amazing pain.
Yeah.
Somewhere between my elbow.
Yes.
And my rotator cuff area, between there.
Yes.
And it was wow! It was something. It felt it was something tearing.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Yeah.
And there it was, and I go. Now, since that occurred, from here to there is black and blue.
So you tore something. You injured.
You think that's what
something?
happened?
Yeah. So bleeding under the skin somewhere, and because your arm hangs down, any bleeding up here will just run down and sit in the tissues. We should maybe talk about rotator cuffs another time.
We shall,
it's too big a subject.
It's a big subject. And I first realized that I know how it happened. I can tell you folks, and this is what you need to be careful of. Within the last 5 years, went from about 65 on, I was playing football out at Glen with my grandson, Jack McCartan, a great wee fellow, and a great footballer. And he's playing above his year at the college, and he's great. He's one of the McCartan clan. And importantly, from a footballing perspective, one of the Rowan Hand clan, because I was quite a brilliant footballer in my day.
Yes, there are
you would understand
books written on the subject.
Indubitably, don't you know? But Jack and I were playing, and I was going up for the ball.
Yes.
And Jack's a devil. There's a devil in him as big as a horse.
Yes.
And he was putting the ball a wee bit. He was stretching me a wee bit, and I went up, and whatever way I was going up, I came down, and I tripped in the going. But in the coming down from about shoulder height, this hit the ground first.
Yes.
And I just collapsed, and I knew something had gone.
Yes.
And I thought to myself, I rather think I've broken something here.
Yes.
I do not think I will be able to get up.
Right, right.
Surprised myself, shook myself, it was a serious fall.
Right.
Realised that I had full mobility, but with pain.
Yes.
That was the commencement of the rotator cuff injury.
Yes,
that hasn't gone away. But that's for another day.
For another day, but it's a good subject.
I think so. And, you know, I really thank you for coming in, because you're a good man, and people need to hear your advice and your guidance. And also, you know, you can go to this man down at Eccles Physiotherapy on the Warren Point Road, and, you know, it doesn't cost the earth to do it.
It doesn't.
You know, and you owe to yourself to spend a few bob. I certainly do, and I don't mind doing it because I feel the benefit of it.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's good. And you know, I don't force people to come, you know, daily for the next 12 weeks or anything like that.
See, people may be dissuaded from going to you or somebody else by thinking, oh, if I don't do a full 3 months, he'll be angry at me.
Yes. No, we need to. And you know, if money is an issue, you know, we can get you to do a lot of your own exercise.
Absolutely.
And it's a lot of education too, just to learn about your injuries, and then you can cope with them yourselves.
How are you at blisters, Luke? Is that a blister?
It is a blister. Yeah, don't pop it.
No, I shan't pop it.
Yeah,
never pop your blister, whatever
because
you
that
do.
just reintroduces infection.
Oh yeah, I last night.
What were you doing?
I was frying potatoes on the pan, and the potatoes fell in a slop out of the colander into the pan. Plum! Up. Wow.
Through that,
So this is a genuine Irish rapeseed oil blister. So be very careful. Accidents in the home. Be very, very careful indeed.
Indeed. So what he should have done then?
Under the tap. Cold tap. 20 minutes.
Well, yes.
If you can.
If you can, just to bring down the temperature. And if it's any more serious than that, then, and if certainly if it's gone through more than one layer, then take it into Daisy Hill and have them look at it.
That's just one layer.
Because infection, but the skin hasn't been broken, so infection's not going to get in, which is a big worry.
I'll only be infecting myself from the inside out.
Yeah,
which is maybe possible, and that's you really it depends what you drink and what you consume. Dear oh, anything you want to ask me? I'm sitting here as.
Are you watching the football?
Hold on till I get into my listening mode. Are you ready?
Have you been watching the football?
Have to keep. No, you're the interviewer.
Yeah.
You're the interviewer now. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Rowan.
Yes.
Have you been watching the football?
No.
See, you should always know the answer to the question before you ask it, shouldn't you?
I'm waiting.
Stop it. So what have you been up to? Enjoying the weather?
No.
It's been fantastic.
No. No, I'm getting up early when it's cool, and I'm going to bed early when it's hot.
Yes, yeah.
And in the meantime, I'm involved at the moment in finalising the book.
Okay, yes.
And it's due. My book is due out. It is out on the end of July. It's with the publisher at the moment, and all the writing's done, all the photography's done. 75% of all of the images are in the book, but I'm involved now in the horrendous exercise of final selection of images.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm putting them into chapters, or my publisher is.
Yes.
And the awful thing is, Steve, you worry in case, well, I don't worry, I don't do that, but you're concerned that you leave material out that you should put in, and that's what I'm being careful of at the moment. It's the most beautiful book.
Yes. I would look forward to seeing it, yeah.
Fundamentally, you know, I think if you take a man who's been taking photographs since the age of 12, and he has in his hands at the age of 65 one of the finest cameras in the world, and if you plonk him down in the middle of West Africa or Tamil Nadu in southern India,
yes,
there's only one thing you're going to get. You're going to get hundreds of National Geographic images.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I've got, and that's what's going into the book. And the writing is conversational.
Good, good.
And it's observational. It's not about me. I'm a great fellow. This is what I'm. No, 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 no.
Right.
Here I am observing Father Donal, Sister Paulina, Sister Charity. This is what they're doing, and telling their story.
Yes.
So it's a beautiful, beautiful melange of imagery and word imagery. And it's coming, and it's called, you know what it's called? Did I tell you what it's called?
Oh, you didn't tell me.
I actually think it's one of the most beautiful titles. And the way it's working out, it couldn't be a better title. The title is Caritas et Amor, in the Footsteps of Love. That's the title.
Very good.
Caritas being charity, amor being love.
Love, yeah.
Caritas et Amor, in the Footsteps of Love.
Very good.
So if you Google Caritas et Amor promo,
okay,
you will see a 7-minute
wow.
DVD
Lovely.
publicizing the book.
Excellent.
Caritas et Amor promo. Google it and you will be introduced to the book.
Go straight ahead and do that now.
I think so. No, not on the program's
until
over.
At 10 o'clock.
10:30. 10:30. I tell you. But it's. I am making the book public. I think the location, if I do it in Newry, there's only one location it can occur at,
yes,
and that's the Carroll Gallery of the Sean Hollywood Art Centre.
All right.
Why the Carroll Gallery?
Why the Carroll Gallery?
The Carroll Gallery is named after Archbishop Francis Carroll, my own kith and kin,
right,
who was a bishop in Monrovia in Liberia, 40 years ago,
wow,
and who was a great SMA, Society of African Missions, missionary,
yes,
who built schools there.
Wow, wow.
And so I feel a connectivity with him.
Yes.
And he's
yes,
one of Newry's greats who hasn't been recognised.
Yes.
So the book is an homage to Bishop Carroll and also to the Society of African Missions.
That's homage to the rest of us.
Oh, homage is nice, isn't it?
No, it isn't.
No, but you say to someone, you look at her through the glass and you say, my darling, may I just let this evening be a total homage to your beauty. What do you think of that? You'd get the queer cough in the gob, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Your woman or my woman would do exactly that. Yeah.
Well, Liberia, an interesting country.
Yes. Yeah.
It was formed.
The returning slaves.
Returning slaves, yes. And what was dreadful was that those returning slaves made themselves into a sort of the upper class and forced the rest of the population into slavery. So it said some dreadful things about human nature.
Oh, yeah, sure. Look, you only have to look around the world at the moment.
Yeah.
If physiotherapy was all we had to deal with, it would be great.
It would be bad enough.
It would be bad enough, but I mean, the physiotherapy of the mind.
Yes.
And it's, I don't know what the solution is. Someone once said, I'd rather a bottle in front of me than have a full frontal lobotomy. I don't know. Shall we play some music now?
Yes, thank you
would
very
you like?
much.
This is it. Eric will play us music. Eric the Viking.
Excellent.